I coach kids individually online right now, and it's been just so wonderful to be an extra support to their families. And that's how I push it. It's like I'm not going to call myself like a life coach for these kids because they're like literally 11 or 12, right? Like they're not worried about their coach. I'm not telling these kids what to do with their lives, but it's like I get to be a practice partner with them. And I think that that's who and the practice is different for each kid, right? For one kid, it's like I get to practice asking them like to share their thoughts. So with this kid, we're practicing them communicating more. With one kid, I'm practicing holding emotional space, right? So when they're upset, instead of having their parents trying to calm them down, they have someone who they can just get it out with. I have someone who we're practicing empathy, right? And it's like we're doing it through video games because he likes to yell at me when I'm doing bad in video games. And then we can kind of be empathetic and connect back to like, remember, I'm a person and I'm new at this and you have to teach me. And so it's rough.
What game was it?
Fortnite.
Oh my gosh, I tried to play that with my friend's with his son. And he was like, "You're so bad." I'm like, "I am actually. That is an accurate statement." But I also have no idea what you're doing with walls. I'm like, "Dude, you're building stuff and shooting stuff, and I don't even know what's going on. Can you teach me how to put a wall down?"
But it's just interesting because it's like, so this whole new project I have, I'm shifting into, I haven't talked much about it, but I'm shifting into Twitch because that's where kids watch stuff. They will watch someone stream video games for 3 to 4 hours.
That's crazy to me. I don't know. Again, each generation to their own. I'm trying to think of what I watched as a kid,
I just watch TV like that.
Yeah, and TV, you had to wait during fucking commercials and shit. Like people have no idea. It's like dating now where people are like, you just get to hit up the person directly. I had to call their fucking house and their dad might answer. And if their mom was harsh, they answered. Like you had to put in the work. You couldn't date multiple people because you didn't have time. You had to get on your bike, ride over, or get in a car and drive. You couldn't be in multiple places having multiple connections, which, hey, that facilitates this conversation on some level. So there's always beauty, to everything that's expansive, but there's always a shadow side, which, I was asking you about social media. Like Twitch is really interesting because they're observing you. So you're able to navigate, have these conversations, meet kids in video games to talk about. And like, it's such a cool thing because you're meeting them where they are.
Where they're at, where they want to be, where they want to be. And what's cool about it too is like I teach kids growth mindset and self-talk. Those are two major things I do. And I do it specifically about how they view themselves. So we're learning a lot about growth mindset in schools, specifically around like it's like practice growth mindset when you're learning, but also practice growth mindset in your personal life. And so instead of like teaching it from a show, which is what I thought we were going to do, I was like, well, I can talk about growth mindset in video games because I'm not good. Like the kids will actively see me get better, right? But it was also really interesting because some of the kids started to try to teach me. And I was like, this is actually a really great empathy building exercise for kids because what they've learned is being good at something doesn't mean you're good at teaching it, right? And so kids were like, what's wrong with you? Like, so this one kid, I can tell this because it was a success story. And I like a huge fan of this kid. I've been working with him for like 9 months at this point. But we were playing Fortnite and we were in a battle and it was like the pressure was on and he just started screaming at me. He was like, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And like there was 2 people shooting at us. We're shooting at 2 people. I just put my remote down and he was watching me and he's like, what are you doing? Pick your remote up. And I was like, oh, ugh, absolutely not. And I put my headphones off and we lost. I was like, look, how would you feel if when I was trying to help you with your communication skills, I yelled at you? And he was like, I wouldn't feel good. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, and how do you think I felt when we were playing that game when you were yelling at me? And he was like, well, I was trying to help you. And I was like, do teachers help you when they yell at you when you're learning? And he was like, no. And I was like, so what could have helped in that moment? He was like, not yelling. And I'm like, yeah, that's the first step, right? But also let's think about what else we could have done. And so I was like, I won't play video games with you like that. I won't do it. I was like, I don't let anybody talk to me like that. I don't care how good you are at the game. I don't care how much you have to offer me. If you're screaming at me like that, I'm done. I'm absolutely done. And so 2 days later, his mom emailed me and she was like, he used his allowance to buy me like a Fortnite skin. And it wasn't even just an apology. He was like, you've gotten so much better. And here are the 3 areas that you've gotten better. And I just wanted to like get this as a gift to say congratulations. And it was like, see that huge shift right? And just understanding. And I have a kid right now who's in high school, and he's like my manager for my Twitch, which is hilarious because it's just him being so frustrated with me all the time. But even if you go back and start watching from when he was my manager to now, I have to check him a lot, where I'm like, check yourself. I'm learning. I am new. If I don't understand something, I need you to help me understand it. And then he said, he was like, man, he's like, no wonder teachers get so frustrated. And I was like, yeah, right. But it's, again, we don't really talk about that aspect of it. And so if you have someone that's naturally more patient, or someone that likes to explain things, right? Someone who can kind of hold space for that, then you have teachers who do that. But a lot of times, even saying something like, you still don't get it, or what are you doing? Or like, how did you get this? It brings shame to learning. Right. And so then I had another kid who's teaching me Minecraft. In Minecraft, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. They're like, you're like mining for things, right? But he helped me build a house, and he's like, this is really good. Here are some areas where you could like improve, right? But you should be proud of this. And I was so excited that after our call, I just played Minecraft for like 2 more hours because I was pumped. And so I was like, I shared that with kids. I was like, my motivation went up when I felt like I was getting better, right? When I felt like I knew what I was at least trying to learn. And also I had someone that was holding space for the learning process, because I'm such a perfectionist that being bad at something makes me feel like not good about myself.